Good afternoon, traders. It's Bill Baruch with Blue Line Futures, and this is the FX Rundown. The euro is finishing a session out above major three-star resistance. It's seeing support from better than expected industrial production data earlier this morning, as well as a miss on US PPI. It came in soft, that inflation read, and it came on the heels of yesterday's more important CPI read that also was soft. And durable goods from the US, they weren't anything to really write home about. Headline number came in worse, but some of the other components were better. Ultimately, it's weakened the US dollar, and you're seeing the euro lifted. Now, the euro is also being lifted with tailwinds related to the British pound, as the UK voted to reject a no Brexit deal this afternoon. You see the pound trade to highs. Ultimately, again, this is lifting the euro. The euro does face some strong resistance. There's a couple trend lines from previous peaks that align with our next key resistance level. These come in around 113.70 up to 114, so keep a close eye on that. But a continued close and continued price action above about 113.11 will keep a path of least resistance up to those resistance levels. Now, as well, we do have some data tomorrow to look towards. CPI out of Germany, CPI as well out of France. Then we have import-export price indexes from the U.S., weekly jobless claims, as well as existing home sales. So a slew of data to keep a close eye on tomorrow. It's going to move the dollar, it's going to move the euro, and then ultimately, too, what happens with this British pound and what's happening in the UK. Right now, the British pound has a previous peak around 135 and has a previous low that is now a floor around 130. That's the area right there. On a technical basis, you get a close out above there. So it's going to help move the euro as well. We actually favor the pound and looking for that to recover, as Theresa May is going to try to push for about a 2-month extension of that March 29th deadline. Now moving on to the yen, it isn't moving up with some of the other safe havens this week, like gold pushing out above 13.10 today. But the yen, it's really some worries tied to slower China growth, just in that region, as well as the fact that President Trump is saying that a China trade deal is more 50-50 now. So you're not seeing the yen benefit as some of the other safe havens are. Tonight you have data coming out of China, fixed asset investment, industrial production, retail sales, and unemployment. So a miss, though, if the stock market starts to sell off or starts to see some weakness from these highs, the yen could begin to capitalize once again. But despite the dollar weakness, a stronger equity market has certainly held back the yen from gains, plus a strong resistance level. Now you have that 90 area, which we've been talking about quite a bit, and there's the continuous 200-day moving average that comes in there. So watch that area. We need to close out above there. We're right there here as the day is winding down. Lastly, taking a look at the Aussie dollar. Now, the China data tonight is going to be very tight and move this Aussie quite a bit. The Aussie has not moved out above major 3-star resistance. It is testing that level. Look for this level to hold, but if tonight's data comes in better, the Aussie could push out above it. If it misses, being short the Aussie is where you want to be. We did have a slight bearish bias last night. Now, for the Canadian dollar, it is moving out above major 3-star resistance. A strong move in crude oil on the heels of the EIA inventory report has lifted the Canadian dollar into more of a neutral zone there. But again, that China data today is going to be tied down to the Canadian dollar as well as the Aussie, as it gives a little pulse on the global risk sentiment. Give us a call. We're here to help talk about anything on the board. 312-278-0500. You can email us info@bluelinefutures.com. Check our website for updates, and you can sign up for a free trial of research there. But remember, futures trading involves substantial risk of loss. It is not suitable for all investors. Thanks.